So, I'll tell you, there is nothing more exciting than watching that float go down the edge.
Yeah,
and I was then walking in so we could start this next bit, and it went straight under as quick as that.
Yeah,
so
we're rocking now.
So this is our move in, isn't it? We've just moved in from the secondary swim right into the edge, and immediately, look, they're different fish. I mean, it's a mirror for a start. It's slightly bigger, chunkier fish. I mean, there's something about those edge fish, Rob, and as quick as that it was as well. I mean, what's scary about that? I mean, you probably had you had 5 or 6 fish on that secondary swim, but this is where we're expecting the big finish, isn't it?
This is where we're going to have the big finale. So we're feeding quite a bit of bait.
Right,
now.
let's talk about that then. Hold this bait up for the camera now, because right, pour it out into my hands. This is what you are now about to feed. There, look. So if I just hold that up to the camera, that is a lot of bait. There is a lot of bait there. You know, at the start you were probably feeding about that much, I would say, just so
not even that,
like that as trap setting. But as you've realised the fish are becoming more and more aggressive, look at that. So he's now cupping in that. Now I noticed then you didn't do your He-Man smash into the water with your pellets.
No, there's fish there now. I don't need to excite them and get them overexcited.
So this is head down, sneak it down in a pile so the fish can come straight down.
Last thing I want is a double figure fish to come into that and just waft it all over the place.
Right.
I want to try. Obviously, it's good to spread out in the swim, but I want to keep it as tight as possible.
That's because you're fishing on it, though. You're now fishing on this peg, so that's the whole idea behind what you're doing.
Yes, I want somewhere to present my rig.
Are we still on this hook bait?
Yeah, we're still on the
right, so
I'm not counting, but all I'm doing is going through the thick end of the maggot.
Well, once you've got these up, just hold that up. Just pass me the hook so I can hold it up for the camera, because I want to show how big that hook bait is. It's quite scary.
I've put 8 on there, so
I'll put that against my sleeve. Look at that. I mean, that is a really big hook bait there. You can see the size that he's talking about. A real big target bait. I mean, that carp you just had, no worries whatsoever. I mean, I'll tell you, Rob, I'm expecting another one here.
Oh, I'm expecting
big things.
You can just see this movement on the water now in that edge, and you can just see those fish are feeling more comfortable. We've had a bit of rain on and off today, which is, I think that's just halted the progress of this margin, this really shallow.
If you like this sort of thing, why not check out www.anglingacademy.co.uk. There's loads of information, really long videos. The detail is absolutely immense. So if you love this, if you love these little clips, check out those longer videos, because they could be just the thing to improve your fishing.
Hello, edge.
Yeah. I mean, you had a brilliant run with those skimmers as well, didn't you? I mean,
I've had a nice run.
That was.
And these liners,
we weren't expecting that, but I mean, there was like a little boil there just past the fish.
There's liners now, so there's fish moving there.
So look, you're swinging. Let's talk about that rig, because you swung that hook bait right out again.
Yeah.
And now you're holding the rig tight.
We plumbed it up. We found that there's a shelf there. So what I want to do is just try and lay that last inch, because I remember laying about an inch line. Just trying to lay that last inch along that shelf.
It's really nice. That's a carp there now, isn't it?
So that was a line bite. And
so why are you picking that rig out then? Why not just leave it?
Because my hook bait has moved.
You're trying to reset them?
I'm trying to reset my rig.
Right, interesting.
My hook bait's moved. Obviously that carp's probably swung by my hook bait anyway, so there's no point leaving the float there. See, then again, another little indication.
I might have had a strike at that one myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a bit keen.
Yeah, I wouldn't have struck at that. I just think I've seen that little tiny dip to start with, and then
which
it dipped twice.
Yeah,
didn't
nice.
It? So.
Yeah, nice read. Yeah, so you're looking for that one clean. And listen, I will say the strike's not as gently lifting as it has been on the pellet line.
No,
what's that? Is that because you've got a big bait on?
I've got a big bait. I've got a big hook. Obviously,
trying to set the hook through the bait.
Lee, I'm not being funny. It makes me feel like a man when I strike into a fish down the edge.
There's something about fishing down the. Oh,
there we go. So
get in there.
You can see.
There's something about fishing down the edge like that.
Zoomed
That's mental.
I don't know.
Bream?
It's one of them. It's one of them bream.
I'll tell you, you've caught some of them today. I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mean, earlier we were saying 30, 40 pound. You're well past that now. It's crazy on those bream.
But it's good fishing. But again, we're resetting the trap again. So just because we caught a bream, we've still got to refeed.
No, absolutely. So you go what? The same again?
Same again.
You know, what about just for the fans, Rob? What about just for the fans? A worm? Come on.
Should
Entertain me.
I think it's time for a worm. Obviously, we were getting a perch earlier on, weren't we?
Yeah,
so
but we're not now,
I don't think a worm's the way to go, but we could put a worm on.
Or maybe 2 worms. I'd like everyone to see, because what about this? I see people slapping a worm.
Let me talk to you.
Let's talk about that.
I won a really big match here, the Ivan Marks Memorial, fishing worm and groundbait in the edge.
Yeah.
I had a really shallow margin on one of the other lakes, and I fished worm and groundbait.
Okay.
And for a period of time, as you know, worm and groundbait was brilliant.
Oh, it was amazing.
And I think it's once you start feeding a lot of bait, a worm is a brilliant target bait.
Yeah.
Whereas those maggots, even though it was a big bait, might be getting lost. So what we'll do is do.
I mean,
my favourite bait.
That 12 looks small with those 2 worms on.
My favourite bait for these carp, when I'm fishing, when I've got loads of bait in the swim, 2 big worms. Give them a nice slap, and what it does is it just stuns them.
They're totally stunned. So now they're just going to lay still.
So now they're going to lay still. They're not going to move around.
Brilliant.
Strangely, that wriggly worm, firstly, it attracts your perch, so a perch is going to peck at it. Secondly, those carp, it put them off. I don't know why, but it puts them off. So stunned worm is the way to go.
Yeah, so effectively now we've got, that's why really, let's be honest, maggot, 2 stunned worms, there's not a huge difference because they're both just great big natural baits, aren't they?
Natural baits are nice big.
I tend to find as well, I don't know about you, Rob, but I tend to find that worms really come into their own as the season progresses. Like that sort of October time. I tell you what, there's a great big boil there right behind the float.
Do you think he's going to have it?
I'll be amazed if he doesn't. Look, that's lovely. I hope the camera's picking that up. Slow indications on the float.
Yeah, not enough to lift the rig out yet.
But that is. And that was absolutely perfect. So little slow indications.
Not enough to lift the rig out though, was there?
Definitely not, no. And then that fast pull under. Now, for me, that was a proper fish in the gob.
He's a nice fish.
If he's not in the gob, he's going to be right next to the mouth.
No, he's in the
sometimes
mouth,
that's what happens with him. But
there's no problem. With this
no problem, he's confident. But look, the 2 worms.
And I think, worms are great bait, as you say, we've humoured people by trying those worms. But
yeah, we have, yeah.
Once you get a lot of bait in the peg, you need a bigger bait to stand out because there's so much going on in that swim now.
Yeah. It could be the right bait, Rob. It could be the right bait for the rest of the day. I mean, I'm going to call that on that because that was an absolute classic margin session right there. The slow indications, the slow liners followed by that brilliant fast bite. I mean, what an unbelievable fish. Should we call that a day? Or should I say,
listen.
Can I ever go?
No. This is what we're doing. We're calling it a day as far as filming goes, but I'm going to carry on.
I knew you would.
And then as I pack up the rest of my gear, do a slow pack up, I might let you have a go.
I might have a go. All right. Well, look, I hope everybody's enjoyed it.